To be completely honest with you, I wasn't listening to a thing you just said. Let's go.
My leg looks like Picasso. see, God damn it. Have you?
I think you know the answer.
You. Oh my God. This man, he needs to be studied in a lab.
I can explain everything.
No, he can't.
I can explain.
There is no shot.
The Lakers.
I'm not going to let you choose the Lakers.
Damn
Pick
it.
something else. We made such a mess. I am a casual.
We are mega casuals. Well, it's past the first round of the playoffs, and the Pittsburgh Steelers did exactly what what we thought they would do. Zach, are you sad? I'm not that sad. I'm kind of sad. I don't know how to feel. Zach?
Well, help Connor out here. He'll know what that means. A little bit. I mean, it's obviously sad because the season's over and everything. But, I mean, as far as how it ended, I mean, we were the 7th seed playing the Buffalo Bills. I mean, we were definitely going to lose that game. There wasn't that much hope, but up until Minka not tackling the guy,
That was crazy.
it was looking great. Minka ended our season, which was wild. That should be the title of this podcast. Minka ended our season. Because that was it was tough. We definitely had a chance. I mean, they kicked a field goal there, and we have a chance to go and win the game. But whatever. It's all right. The thing that makes me the most sad is knowing how much could change here in the offseason. And, but it's also the thing that excites me. So we'll see. We will see. What about you? Are you sad?
It's such a hard situation to judge because, again, going into the season, if you had told me we were a first round exit, I would have kind of seen that as a disappointment for the season. I mean, yeah, technically we were 1 win better than last year, but we didn't grow what's supposed to be our franchise quarterback because he didn't play the last 5 games of the season.
Yeah.
But also, if you would have told me after the series of Arizona, New England, and Indianapolis losses that we'd make the playoffs, I would have been like, maybe that's a win. But then it's what are we playing for? I mean, you're playing for a Super Bowl, but it's you're just going to have a worse draft pick that's not going to play for half of next season anyways.
You know what the Pittsburgh Steelers did this year, Connor?
What?
The exact same thing. The exact same thing, baby. Not one thing's changed. Went in, looks pretty good. Games we had that fell apart. Go into the playoffs. Get blown out. That's happened in the last 5 years, by the way. You go and look at our losses. Besides the Jacksonville game where we lost by 3, we're getting destroyed in these playoff games. Other than the Browns one where we came back, and then the Jags one, the scores look close. Every other score is 40-17. It's wild, isn't it?
We have been outscored 66-0 in the first quarter of our last 5 playoff games.
That's tough. That's tough. You know what I mean? That's tough. If there's anything that's tough out there in the world, that is tough. So, yeah, it sucks. It sucks, man.
But, I mean, fortunately for everyone that's watching this, there was more that happened than just the Steelers losing.
There was more.
We'll hop into. What do you think was the biggest thing that happened this weekend, Zach?
Drink some water real quick. Stay hydrated, friends.
Of course. H2 bro.
The biggest thing that happened this weekend?
Yeah, what's the biggest storyline from the playoffs, you think?
The absolute downfall and demise of the city of Philadelphia.
Oh, really? That's what you're going with.
10-1. 10-1 ended the season 11-6 and just got steamrolled by a guy who's been on 4 different rosters in the last 2 years. That, the Eagles going out right there is really, really wild to me.
Do you know what this Eagles team reminds me of, Zach?
I don't. I have no idea.
It reminds me of the 11-0 Steelers from a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Where, even when both teams were winning, everyone's like, they're not real. Like, they're not for real. And then they both happen to get bounced in the first round by Baker Mayfield.
Yep. Both of them did. Yeah, it's wild. It's wild that they lost. I really wasn't expecting a loss out of them. Really wasn't.
See, it's funny that you said that was the biggest storyline, because I thought you were going to say Dallas getting blown the fuck out was the biggest storyline.
I expected that way more than the Eagles losing, to be honest.
Really? I expected Tampa Bay to win that game, so that's interesting that you expect. Okay, that's interesting.
No, yeah, I expected Dallas to lose more than I expected the Eagles to lose.
So I gave my thoughts, obviously, like right after that game ended, on what I think the problem in Dallas is. What do you think in your mind is the problem with Dallas?
I don't know. I really don't know what the problem in Dallas is. Oh, we got a Bing Bong appearance.
Bing Bong appearance.
Oh well, she's just covering the light, and now you might see her tail. Yeah, she's a wild person. All right.
Zach went silent.
Bing Bong appearance.
Ah, he's back. Oh, Zach went silent again.
Yeeted Bing Bong. Sorry. So the Eagles or the Cowboys, I don't know. I really don't watch Cowboys football.
Okay.
I would probably just say like the lack of, honestly, kind of like the Steelers. Like, it just seems like they're just kind of stuck in this little spot where they aren't making a lot of changes. But like, something's got to give. It's either McCarthy or Dak. Like, I doubt they give up on Dak because he had a good season. So it's got to go the other way to McCarthy. But yeah,
I think McCarthy's definitely going to be gone. But I mean, the real problem is going to be with this team until the problem passes away, because the problem happens to be very old, which is Jerry Jones, in my opinion. I think this is just an ownership problem. This is an owner who wants to be too hands-on with the team, and I think that's what the detriment of this team is. But
yeah, fair enough.
And so, who do you think should coach? Other Bing Bong, stay away from my dinner. No, I will put you in timeout. Good. Who do you think should be the coach of the Cowboys next?
I have no idea, man. I really have no clue. I don't know like who's even available or like who. I really don't know. A lot of these coaches I really don't know. I haven't really stayed into that much this year, to be honest.
I think
won't lie to y'all.
I think the best two options are Bill. I think Bill's my second best option in my opinion. The best option for me is Mike Vrabel, because he won't take Jerry Jones' shit and he'll establish a culture. And I think that's exactly what the Dallas Cowboys are missing right now.
Yeah. Fair enough. So, but they haven't gotten rid of McCarthy yet, right?
As of taping this, no.
Okay.
And so
hopefully that ages like milk for some Cowboys fans. I'm guessing they don't like him very much right now.
No.
I'm guessing most people are riding on the "it's his fault, not Dak's fault" train.
Go check out the post that I made on the training camp Instagram and TikTok, because it is going both ways right now. It's insane to see Cowboys fans fighting with each other.
Wow. Okay, I'll have to check the comments. That's interesting. I would expect more blame the coach than blame the quarterback out of that team.
It's been insane, the comments on that. Speaking of coaching and coaching vacancies, there are a bunch of vacancies open right now. So Zach and I are going to rank the best to worst head coaching vacancies in the NFL.
Yeah. So I kind of took this in interpretation of like the most appealing job.
Yeah,
the least
1,000%.
Okay, cool.
We'll start from the bottom up. So what's the least appealing available job?
Least appealing. Sorry, viewers, I got to go dark here for a second, which sucks because I know this is mainly for the TikTok, the clips. But I was using my phone as a little light to help Connor out.
Shout out. Love Zach.
So you said the least appealing?
The least appealing.
So I think by far, the least appealing team is the New England Patriots.
Really?
You got to walk in and fill Bill Belichick's shoes with a garbage roster. What do you like?
I don't agree with you. Actually, they have the third overall pick.
What are they get one? They get one more guy.
Okay, that's fair.
You look at you, Connor. You look at me right now and tell me that the Patriots are fixed with one draft pick.
No, they're not fixed with one draft pick. But
one third overall. Like you acted like that was like their saving grace, and like they would be unstoppable with this third overall draft pick.
I think that there is still one job that is worse than this one. The Patriots' job is the second worst, in my opinion. There is one team that I think is the worst situation to go to. Which also, by the way, New England's not even a head coaching vacancy anymore because they did hire someone.
They did hire. They hired a man very instantly. So,
but
shout out Gerard Mayo for taking, in my opinion, the least appealing job on the market. Good luck there, buddy. Good luck.
Who's your second worst? Now I'm curious.
I think it's the Titans. Is my second least favorite team.
You're still wrong. This is crazy.
My second least favorite team. If I were to go and pick a team, I wouldn't pick the Titans if I was a head coach right now.
What? This is insane. Okay, what's next?
And then after the Titans, you've got the Raiders.
Oh my God, you're still so bad. This is crazy how you haven't gotten the right answer yet, Zach.
I know your right answer. It's probably my next pick. You got the Raiders. Again, kind of nothing going there for you. I'm guessing this is Connor's last pick. Out of these last four teams, I think they're all pretty bad. But that's the order I went with. So number 4, I'm guessing this is your number 1. Is that the Washington Commanders?
It's not even that one. This is crazy.
Really? Really? Well, okay, I'm really confused on what it would be. Is it my number 3 would be the Seahawks? Is it the Seahawks?
Still not that team.
So, is it my number 2 would be the Falcons? That's the second most appealing.
Nope, still wrong.
Okay, so your bottom of the list is my top of the list. The Chargers? You
just missed the team, I guess.
No, you didn't put the team on there. You didn't put the team in the dock.
This makes so much more sense now. All right. Wait, so hold on.
Let me look at the dock and I'll give you the teams that you gave me.
Okay, let's hear it.
New England, the Chargers, Tennessee, the Raiders, Atlanta, Washington, and Seattle.
I did forget a team. Fuck.
Don't try to frame me ever again.
All right.
The docs never lie. The docs never lie. You lie, mister. The docs never lie.
Wait, it was just funny because I make the docs. Wait, hold on. So, what's your order from best to worst?
Best to worst is Chargers, Falcons, Seahawks, Commanders, Raiders, Titans, Patriots.
Okay, that's really funny. I almost have the exact same thing, but I have Chargers, Falcons, Commanders, Seahawks, Raiders, Titans, Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, you definitely left the Panthers off the list. They definitely would have been the bottom.
They're definitely worse than New England, right?
They're definitely at the bottom. But out of the options that you gave me,
that's fair.
I made your list. You were getting mad at me the whole time when I made your list.
Dude, I'm totally going to use the New England clip for content farming, though. Are you cool with that?
Yeah, I don't care.
We already have like a weird rivalry with Patriots fans after we knew that they were going to be bad this year. No, Carolina's easily the worst job on the market. They don't have a first-round pick for like the next 3 years. Their owner is batshit crazy. And this is a team that, like, look at Baker Mayfield 1 year removed from this team. Yeah. This is the same team that had Baker Mayfield lining up in a 3-point stance on defense for some reason. This team has no direction.
Shot that happened.
That literally happened.
I forgot. That's crazy.
They also had him holding kicks for the kicker.
Huh.
And now Baker Mayfield won a playoff game. So, yeah, I think that's easily the worst.
Bro. Shout out Baker, man.
Tennessee also, like you were saying, is not a very interesting or appealing job. The only thing you really have is like a young quarterback who showed some promise in Will Levis, and then a high-ish draft pick this year. But like you're gonna lose Derrick Henry. You don't have any wide receiver stars.
You got no wide receivers. Your defense is mid. Not a good spot either.
Yeah. Vegas is kind of similar. Vegas has some players like Josh Jacobs. I don't think Devontae's gonna stay. Max Crosby will probably stay. So they have some players there, but they're still like in need of a quarterback. It's a rebuilding situation. I think the only thing that makes it like more of an appealing job is just the market.
Yeah. I agree.
And then Seattle is actually not that bad. Like, you have a very young and promising defense. You have a good offensive line, and I mean, you again, you're just a quarterback away now that we've seen that Geno Smith is kind of his carriage has turned into a pumpkin, and they have a young
downfall is among us.
I mean, honestly, Seattle is a good offensive system and a good young quarterback away from being really good, because they have a great wide receiver core with young receivers as well, and now they have Ken Walker, their young running back as well. So I mean, they're a young team built for the future. They just need a quarterback.
Stick with Locke, man. Put that suit on.
Zach, do you know what I just thought?
Who?
Do you know who's a really good fit for the Seahawks?
I don't know.
Russell Wilson's a really good fit for the Seattle Seahawks.
That's crazy. Homie said, take him back.
Dude, could you imagine the all-time fumble the Broncos would have had with that trade if they released Russ and then he just goes back to Seattle?
Yeah. That would be wild. They'd actually be so underwater. That's actually so crazy.
I think the Washington job, going back to the head coaching jobs, I think the Washington job is very appealing because you're high up in the draft. You get to bring in your own system because they're probably going to clean house. You have some young talent, both on offense, not really on defense because they sold everything. But this is a team that you get to, like, it's not like there is a system or a culture that's already been set. This is a team that just got bought by new ownership, so it kind of needs a new culture, and I think whoever's going to be the head coach can bring that in.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. This offseason is going to be fun. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on.
And then Atlanta, honestly, I think is very, very, very... If the Chargers didn't have a head coaching vacancy this year, Atlanta would be such a beautiful spot to land at. And even I don't even think the Chargers kind of count because I think we all kind of know who's going to be the Chargers.
Jimbo.
1,000%. And I think, with how the Chiefs have looked this year and how the rest of that division has looked, the Chargers might be able to do it next year if they get Jim Harbaugh. Just saying.
It's always the Chargers at this point are like the Cowboys. This is always their year. They just need one more thing, and they get that thing, and then it's all right. We need one more thing after that. The next season, the Chargers are always just one step away.
Yeah. So yeah, Jim's probably gonna go to the Chargers. Who do you think is if you had to guess? I know you don't really know any candidates, but if you had to guess, who do you think is either a good fit or is going to go to the Falcons?
I've heard the Bill interview. Obviously, that would be fun. Goes to the team that he 28-3'd just out of spite. That'd be wild. Other than that, couldn't tell you. I think got nobody, buddy.
I think the best fit is Ben Johnson, the OC for the Lions right now. He's obviously going to be the next big head coach / hiring.
Okay.
And I think if Atlanta can land him, and if they can draft like a Michael Penix or someone in that with that 8th overall pick that can sit behind Russell Wilson, if they can sign Russell Wilson, I think that's the perfect situation where if Russell does show that he is actually declining, then he can go to the rookie who has possibly been sitting for half the season. I just think Ben Johnson's system is really, really great, and they already have all the weapons. They have a phenomenally talented tight end, phenomenally talented wide receiver, arguably one of the best, most talented running backs we've seen in a long time, and a really great young defense too.
Yeah, the Falcons could definitely stir some things up for sure.
And then Washington is pretty cool too. I think Mike Vrabel going to Washington.
Yeah.
Oh, I just moved. I think
nothing.
Hey,
Washington's one of those teams where it's like, yeah, it's good. That's about enough said.
Yeah,
it's not
I
great.
I
it's not
just
bad, but it's a good spot.
I think Mike Vrabel going there is perfect because, like we were saying, like it's a culture issue there, especially with the history that they have with Dan Snyder and everything.
Yeah.
And so if they can get in a brand new culture, and I still can't believe Mike Vrabel was fired. I think that's a great splash.
It was wild. That was a wild. You gone, man. You gone.
So there we go. Those are the head coaching vacancies and our thought on those. And then because this was in the show doc, what's more likely, right?
Yeah, we'll do a past tense. What's more likely? Sure, why not?
All right, cool. I'm very interested on your two what's more likelies. So shoot them at me, Zach.
So again, this happened before we started filming.
Oh.
So the outcomes have happened.
Okay.
But what was more likely
Oh,
for
God.
the AFC 7th seed to win or the NFC 7th seed to win?
I still think it was going to be the NFC since they were playing.
I was also on the NFC side.
Yeah, no, playing the Cowboys, also a very on the up Packers team with very, very, like, they've shown that they can win those games. That was definitely more likely. I don't think Pittsburgh beating Buffalo, many people would have called that one.
It's also kind of wild that you didn't expect these to be in the past tense.
Do you know what's really funny?
We were going to do this before the games.
Going back, did I just... I literally forgot and then remembered it right away. Do you know what's really funny is if I did my game picks, every game that happened, that's what I would have picked. I should have put mine down this week because everything that happened, I was like, that's probably what I think is going to happen. And it did, which is insane because that parlay would have gone nuts.
Oh, I'm sure it would have.
What's your next one? What's your next one?
My next one was... What's more likely for Matt Stafford to win his revenge game or Tyreek Hill to win his revenge game?
Oh, yeah, that was a Stafford one, too, just because of the conditions in Kansas City alone.
Yeah. That was really crazy. Like, the fact that people actually thought that the Miami people had a chance to go into Arrowhead and win a game in negative degree temperatures. Like, they were doomed from the start. Genuinely doomed from the start.
So
but neither of it happened. So
yeah, no, neither happened. And shout out to the Lions. Good for them.
Shout out to the Lions, man. First time in both of our lives that's ever happened. So
32 years.
Probably for a lot of you guys. If you're below the age of 32, then you've never seen that happen either. So,
which, like, even if you're 33, you didn't see that shit happen.
In spirit, they did. Those 33-year-old Lions fans.
Let's do my what's more likely. And these are ones that you can actually still predict if you'd like.
Okay.
What's more likely, Zach? C.J. Stroud and the Texans reach the Super Bowl, or Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers reach the Super Bowl?
Honestly, because of how... I hate to use the word soft, but I'm going to. How soft the NFC side looks right now, I'm going to say Baker over, because there's still a lot of teams that you got to go through in the AFC side. They would have to go through either Buffalo, the Ravens, or the Chiefs, whereas Baker would only have to go through the Niners, which would be like the one really hard challenge, and then it's the Packers or the Lions. So
let's throw a little bonus who's more likely into this. Who's more likely to win their matchup? The Buccaneers at the Lions or the Texans at the Ravens?
Considering we've seen playoff struggles out of Lamar Jackson, I'm going to say C.J. Stroud and the Texans.
Which is funny because I'm the exact same way. And also just with how good. It's not like C.J. just beat a bad 6 seed or 5 seed. They beat a really, really good defense. It's not like it was a shootout because the offenses were great. Or it's not like
statistically the worst on the road, though.
That's true. I didn't think about that. Yeah.
The Browns defense is the worst defense on the road and one of the best defenses when they're playing at home.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Which is wild because they still ended the season like total at the top of the list, you know. Yeah. I saw that the other day and thought that was pretty interesting.
That is really, I never thought about that. Okay. The next, I guess the last one technically. This one's also just kind of like boring, but I am just curious your thoughts about it. Who's more likely to get back to the Super Bowl? Jared Goff or Patrick Mahomes?
More likely to? Definitely Mahomes and the Chiefs.
You think so?
Yeah.
Because
if I use my same argument to what I gave Baker Mayfield, then I guess it would be Jared Goff because they technically would have the easier road to that game.
That's the thing. Jared just has to beat the Buccaneers this week, and then either the Niners or the Packers the week after.
Is the Niners?
No, they're playing. The Lions are playing the Buccaneers.
Oh, I know who the Lions are playing, but then they beat the Buccaneers, and then
Oh, I see.
it's the Niners. Like, let's be real. It's the Niners.
I think it's a bigger chance.
Yeah.
Well, no, sorry.
I also agree with you.
Yeah, because I honestly think there's a real chance that Mahomes loses in Buffalo this week. I don't know how you feel.
I mean, they beat us. And if they can beat us, man, they can beat those Chiefs. We're about the same level as them. We had a similar record.
By that?
We had a similar record.
What do you mean by that?
Patrick Mahomes and Mason Rudolph are basically the same person. So
Okay. Actually, we're going to pause real quick, Zach. I want you to give me your thoughts on Mason Rudolph's end of the season. Zach is a man who did not like Mason Rudolph, and I'm curious what Zach has to say.
Okay. So there's context to me not liking Mason Rudolph. He's shown that he's trash sometimes, and then sometimes he does this, where he goes out and wins, 4 out of the last 5 games, and then the playoffs, right?
Yep.
So, and in those games he played well. In this game, not so well. I mean, not terrible, but also not like the best. He definitely didn't win us this game, that's for sure.
But he also put us back into it, you have to be fair.
Yeah, he did his thing. So
Do you
did
think
George.
he's back in Pittsburgh next year?
Yeah. But not a starter.
I don't think so either.
If he won this game, mid to high potential of him being a starter. If he won this game next year, with the loss, I think it seals that they go back to Kenny and just say this is a new year. Let's go back. Kenny's back to our guy.
I think there's a real chance Mason gets offered a contract elsewhere.
It's a possibility, man. It's a possibility. Going dark.
He looked pretty good.
Yeah, he did look pretty good.
So let's see. Are there any games we really haven't talked about? I mean, we talked about Eagles. We talked about Steelers, Bills.
Steelers.
We talked about the Chiefs game, how cold it was.
Yeah, there wasn't much else going on in that game.
I do have a question for you about that game, though. Do you what do you think is the problem in Miami? I'm curious your thoughts on the Miami situation right now.
I don't really think there was anything too crazy going on except the fact that they had to go and play in those conditions after practicing and playing for a lot of their time in Florida.
So you think if that game was in Miami, there's a real chance that Miami wins that game?
I think it looks a lot different, don't you?
Oh, 1,000%.
Like, it's not the same game by any means. Not even close.
This is the same Miami team that lost so many games down the stretch, though.
Yeah, for sure. But, I mean, we kind of saw a lot of teams do that. A lot of teams showed weakness, really, other than the Niners and the Ravens. Like,
the Eagles and the Dolphins kind of became the same team towards the end of the season. Do you think that's a fair thing to say?
I mean, not necessarily the same thing. I think the Eagles have more troubles right now than the Dolphins, but similar situations.
That's more fair, yeah.
Definitely similar situations.
Can we play a game? I just thought of a game.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to give you 2 quarterbacks who are in the playoffs, and you have to tell me who had a better performance.
Okay.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Mason Rudolph or Tua Tagovailoa? Say it.
Give me Mason, dog. Give me my Mason Rudolph.
All right, next one. Mason Rudolph or Dak Prescott?
I don't think Dak really lost in that game, to be honest. I mean, he threw the pick 6 and the potential for the other one. But
2, yeah.
I'm going to... In that respective game, like from what I watched, I mean, I didn't really even watch the Cowboys game, so I can't really say. What I watched was Mason Rudolph lose. So I'm going to just go with Dak.
I'll take Mason. I know that Dak had a better box score game, but Dak was one of the reasons they lost that game, is what I'm going to say. All right, next one. Mason Rudolph or Joe Flacco?
Joe Flacco stunk it up. I'm going to take Mason as well over the Flacco train.
And lastly, but certainly not least, Because one of these was an MVP candidate into this season, Zach.
Okay.
Mason Rudolph or Jalen Hurts.
Oh, Mason definitely had a better game than Jalen Hurts did.
Isn't that why? If I would have told you at the beginning of the season, hey, the Steelers are going to make the playoffs, and Mason's going to be one of the better performing quarterbacks in that week.
Yeah, I mean, there was some stinky performances, so he wasn't going up against too much competition. Like, if you put Baker in that list, if you put Josh Allen on that, I mean, Mahomes didn't do that. I mean, yeah, he balled out. Mahomes balled out. I'll give Mahomes his credit, yeah. So, like, all three of those guys were definitely better than Mason.
Yeah, it's
Which
funny.
Makes sense, but, yeah.
Looking at the NFC, it's like, one of Jared Goff, Brock Purdy, Baker Mayfield, or Jordan Love is going to make the Super Bowl.
I was telling my dad that today. I was like, yeah, it's crazy. It's not much going on.
Do you remember at the beginning, before the season started, Zach, and I had you rank the top 3 NFC quarterbacks? You said Jalen Hurts and couldn't think of anybody else, and we got so much shit because people were like, the NFC's great this year. What do you got to say now?
He's still won, and I can't think of anybody else. No. For real. Yeah,
I think
it was
Jared
a bad
Goff
look.
is the best.
Like, Goff, Dak had a better season than Hurts. Goff had a better season than Hurts. Stafford had a better season than Hurts. Jordan Love had a better season than Hurts.
Brock Purdy
definitely had a better season than Hurts.
I think you could argue Baker Mayfield had a better season.
Baker's having a better end. Like, he's definitely outperforming Hurts as of recently. So yeah, there was some blunders in that statement. I'll say it there.
Which situation would you rather be in? Would you rather be in the Philadelphia situation or the Miami situation?
Miami. I think just in general. Like, you got Tyreek Hill, warm climate, not that much drama going on from the seams
That's
of it.
the biggest thing, is there's just not that much drama, and it's a head coach who I can't stand Nick Sirianni. I really like the Eagles players. Jalen Hurts is getting really annoying. The thing I don't like about the Eagles are the fans and their coach. And I used to like Sirianni, but he's gotten so annoying lately.
Yeah. He got cocky, that is for sure.
Yeah. Ever since his Sia comments, they've been ass. It's funny.
Yeah.
If you watch back the podcast, you'll just see me doing random stretches throughout the entirety of the podcast.
I just laid back. I'm chilling now.
I can't do that. It's so annoying.
Kind of done.
If I sit down for too long, so what they think happened is they think now through the healing process, I now have sciatica, which means it's a nerve thing, which is shooting pains.
I know all about that sciatic nerve, my friend. Me and that boy go way back.
Do you really?
Me and that boy have had many bouts, many fights.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I hate it sometimes. Trash hurts. It's mild, but I mean, it happens.
What? Cat wanted to.
All right, Connor's talking to his cat. I don't think there's really anything else to talk about here.
Just give me your predictions for the games before we leave.
Oh, yeah. So we've got Buccaneers, Lions. I'm going to give that one to Jared Goff and the Lions.
I will as well.
Then we've got the Green Bay Packers and the San Francisco 49ers. I'm going to give that one to the Niners. I think they are one of the better teams in the league, if not one of the best.
I'll take the Niners as well.
And then heading over to the AFC side, we've got the Houston Texans going into Baltimore to play the Ravens. I'm gonna give the upset alert here. I'm gonna go Houston over the Baltimore Ravens.
I'm doing the upset as well. I think it's fun.
I'm going with the upset, Houston over the Baltimore Ravens. Can't wait to be proved wrong. Betting loves to do that to me. And then the other game, Bills Chiefs. A lot of people's wish, this is kind of what the NFL dreams of happening. And I think I'm going to give this one to the Bills. think I'm going to give this one to the Bills. So making the AFC Championship a match between C.J. Stroud and the Houston Texans and Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. And then in the NFC side, to decide that, we've got a match between the Detroit Lions and the San Francisco 49ers. Really entertaining games, I think, out of both of them. And then we'll see about the Super Bowl. In that situation, in that instance, I think we go Bills. Bills Lions Super Bowl is my early prediction right now. You're hearing it here first, folks. Bills Lions.
I want Houston Lions. That's what I said a couple weeks ago. And even though it's still in the cards, I think Bills Lions is more likely, and I think that'd still be as fun though.
Yeah, don't be surprised if I wouldn't be surprised at all if the Niners win though.
It would not surprise me if it's Niners Ravens.
Yeah, no, not even at all. Not even at all. That's probably most likely what's going to happen. But I think if we want to make it fun, the Bills versus the Lions.
Cool. Well,
all right. Well, that was about it. 35 minutes.
That's a couple days late, but that's because we want to make sure all the games happened first. Shout out Zach for that one. Zach would make that
Connor
call.
said Sunday morning pod, so 2 games would have been out. I was like, all right, can't wait to talk about 2 games. All right. Well,
we'll talk about the next games.
We will see y'all later.
Bye, guys.